We've seen from the trailers and some of the stills that have come out, all of the costumes y'all have gotten to wear. What were your favorite outfits for this season coming up?
Regency. Yeah.
What is it like to know that you've filmed these episodes so long ago and they're finally coming out? What does it feel like?
A long time coming.
A long time coming.
They should be out way before right now. I mean, I'm so excited for people to see what we've got in the bag. So yeah, I'm hoping people will be very happy with it.
It is a bit of a struggle trying to remember what happens, though. I'm always like, gosh.
Yeah, anecdotes are like, where are they?
I can't remember.
You're obviously working so much further ahead than what's about to air. Was it weird to be like making the show in a bubble for so long and then like now it's finally going to come out for people to see?
Yes, it is strange, and it's very, sometimes when we're talking about the season finale, I have to do a little think about which one we're talking about. We're literally shooting next year's. We've got 2 weeks left to shoot that, and let me tell you, that is a masterpiece. So we're so excited about that. That has guest stars in it who haven't even leaked out yet because they're not filming on the streets of Cardiff. They're locked away in our studio. So that's very exciting things happening. Oh my God. We shot the last shot of season 2 the other day, and people will be screaming.
Russell said that y'all had finished filming the next season already. Does it feel like a capsule, like you were filming in a bubble?
A little bit, yeah. I think it does all come flooding back when we rewatch the episodes. Like when I'm watching specific bits, I'm like, oh yeah, that's when me and Ncuti did this. But yeah, it's very hard to kind of pick out pieces of memories of what happened after so long.
You've obviously made, loads and loads of TV since you started the show. How easy was it to get back into the mode of writing Doctor Who? Or does it just kind of never leave you?
To be honest, that wasn't hard. You speaking to someone like when I was gone from Doctor Who, I nonetheless watched every single episode of Doctor Who being transmitted more than once. I buy every edition of Doctor Who magazine every month, and you'd think I'd be sent that for free by now, wouldn't you? But I faithfully go into the shop and buy it. So it's never very far away from me. So in that sense, it was like stepping back into the ring, ready for a fight. But and it was a very big choice of mine to come back because I love it. So what was new, of course, was the program making techniques. Although programs are still made in fundamentally the same ways, but budget allocations and effects work and stuff like that were very new to me, and I wanted to learn all that. I wanted to learn about working with CG. I wanted to learn about working with LED screens, or not working with them and working with practical prosthetics. It was like that had grown rusty, and I genuinely love that stuff, and it's the type of television that I watch, and I wanted to learn it all again for 2024, and I found that really exhilarating. I've loved that process.
Did you have like a drawer full of, this was a Doctor Who idea in the interim that you were like, aha, finally I get to make all these?
I had some, yeah. Some of them were exactly that. Some of them we went for decades. Some of them, there's a very specific one. There's an episode called Dot and Bubble that I discussed with Stephen Moffat in 2010, and we both decided it was far too expensive ever to make, and there's no way that technically, and even now, I've got to say, it almost destroyed us. I've got to say, in 2024, we have never pored over every pixel in such detail, but we finally got it made. So yeah, equally other stories are brand new, things I never imagined. 73 Yards is a very strange episode, and I love it for its strangeness that kind of grew on the keyboard in front of me. As it was happening, as I was writing, and that's always the most exciting thing to happen. So I love that one. Yeah.
In kind of coming up with your versions of, the Doctor and the Companion, who for a lot of people will be the first that a lot of people see, what about your personality did you want to bring out for Ruby and for the Doctor?
Oh, that's a good question. You go first.
For me, it was like my ins into the character were curiosity and compassion, and then also just excitement of life. Like I feel like the Doctor constantly gets chances to live life again. That's what his regeneration does. He literally dies, his organs start failing, and then his body starts to regenerate, and it's like another chance. So excitement, curiosity, and like love of life were things that I wanted to colour my Doctor with.
Well, I want it to be relatable. I think the role of the companion is obviously because it can't really relate to an alien with two hearts traveling the universe for 60 years. They need someone to grip onto to guide them through this adventure. So yeah, the fact that the companion has morphed into a character over the years of someone that can actually have a backstory and a personality is really cool. And Russell has given me such a beautiful family to act alongside with. The Sunday family family is so much fun to have in the back of the mind of Ruby Sunday. Just knowing that she's got Carla and Cherry back at home rooting for her is really beautiful. So that's definitely gorgeous. And I just wanted her to be positive and a certain level of innocence about her that people just wanted to fall in love with. And sometimes, because Russell always said to me, she's a really positive person, she's always glass half full, and I was like, God, how do I do that without her being annoying? Because really positive people can be a bit jarring sometimes. And yeah, so I wanted her to be a person you can kind of get alongside with. And I think the comedy as well has really played into Ruby as I've started to play her, which surprised me. I didn't really see her in that sense, so it's been cool to play around with.
We've seen on this press tour just the kind of chemistry that Ncuti and Millie have together. When you were casting, what were you looking for, and what did they bring to their respective parts?
I was looking for a young energy to it. I doubt I would have cast someone older. I have to say, if the right person walked in the room, then of an older generation, then they'd have got it, because you always go for the best possible person, never mind what preconceptions the showrunner might bring to the audition. So nonetheless, when Ncuti walks in, you can see the joy and the energy and the dynamism and the impact and the ambition and the potential of the man. And then I was in the room then when we put him together with Millie, and that was instant fireworks. We were all laughing. That room was full of laughter, and I kind of never expected two actors to have so much comic potential together. I mean, obviously there were moments in Doctor Who where the going is as tough could be, and the situation can be nightmarish, and the acting is raw from the heart. But equally, Doctor Who's very funny. Those scripts rat-a-tat along and are full of one-liners, and to get two young actors who were so skilled at pitching comedy, physical comedy as well, not just the one-liners, that's been a real joy. So I just lean into them. Once you start to see what you've got in front of you, then I'm writing future episodes, and I think, oh my God, we can push this further, and it becomes a very creative hub. Actually, it's a great place to work.
When you definitely throw them in the deep end with space babies, because there's so much of them just kind of rattling off of each other. Where did that idea come from, and like how the development of that script?
It was a very new idea. I actually thought of it in the office, I was actually in the Bad Wolf Studios when simply the thought came into my head of like, what if you had a baby farm run by babies? I think I'd been thinking about that Roger Rabbit baby.
Oh, sure.
And I'd been thinking, I kind of been thinking, why come there was never a sequel to Roger Rabbit? Isn't that strange? I love that film. Why was there never a sequel to that? It's so inventive, that film. And so I was thinking about the rabbit, about the baby, and then that became the space baby version, and not an animated baby, but real babies sort of strolling about the place. So that's a very clear thought process there.
What episode, without giving anything away, obviously, are you most excited to see the reaction from online?
Ooh, the reaction.
And
Regency?
Regency, because you're just seeing, like, they're on different tracks, aren't they? They have their own different adventures. Oh, Regency is such a
you go through every genre in Regency. It's
and also Boom. Episode 3, episode 4, episode 3, episode 4, episode 4 for you, episode 3 for us. It's Boom. Oh my gosh, it's just so intense and so beautiful, and
not really actually.
Oh, I don't want to give too much away. Boom and Regency.
I would like a few reaction videos to the climax, to Empire of Death. Actually, maybe the episode before, The Legend of Ruby Sunday, the last 10 minutes of that make me scream. I whimper watching that. I think it's thrilling. And then when you get to the final episode, everything's up for grabs. The stakes have never been higher. The performances have never been better. The directions have never been better. The scale of the threat is astonishing, but also the detail and the intimacy of what happens in that episode. It's some of the finest acting you'll see in your life. I love it. The music is amazing. You'll be singing some of the musical themes in that. They're so strong and brilliant. It's like, please stick with it to the series finale, and it will reward you.
I'm already sold, so thank you very much. We've seen from the trailers and some of the stills that have come out, all of the costumes y'all have gotten to wear. What were your favorite outfits for this season coming up?
Regency.
Yeah.
Loved. All the way down to my wig. We felt so good.
Felt so good. And we didn't have many scenes in that episode, so when we saw each other in our costume, we were like,
I know. Do you remember the first time we saw
I know.
in that haunted house. It was haunted.
It was
All
haunted.
the crew saw ghosts.
Yeah, it was hilarious.
It was hilarious.
But we looked good.
Yeah.
So
I mean, by
we
far.
gave the ghosts
that was
a feast.
I wonder if you could talk a little bit too about working with Jinx Monsoon, who is this very big, larger than life character, and that's one of the first episodes people are going to get to see. So, what was it like working with Jinx?
Wow. I mean, wow. I've watched Jinx on Drag Race since I was little, and she was always my favorite drag queen. So when Russell was like, "Hey, guess who we're thinking for Maestro?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, who?" And he goes, "Jinx Monsoon," and I was like, "Oh, that is that! Oh my god!" And now I can't see anyone else playing her because that character is just Jinx through and through, and she put her heart and soul into that part. And honestly, I just wanted her to win the whole episode. I was watching her and I was like, God, you're so right. I'm just convinced. So yeah, I think I could talk about her all day, really. She's amazing.
Yeah.
I'm a big classic Doctor Who fan, and I know that you are as well, and grew up. Do you remember the first writer of the classic series that you were like, this is somebody whose work I really admire?
Ooh, that's a very interesting thing to say, because that would be Robert Holmes from the old days. But actually, I think when you're young, the name everyone would latch onto was Terry Nation, because he was the creator of the Daleks, and you'd know when a Terry Nation story was coming on. And how old was I when Genesis the Daleks came on? I must have been like 11 years old, because I remember walking into the kitchen saying to my mum, "What does Genesis mean?" In those days, you had no billings, you weren't told in advance. It's like the previous week's story ended, and over the end credits, the announcer said, "And next week, Tom Baker faces Genesis of the Daleks." And I was like, when the kids said, "What does Genesis mean?" And my mother went, "Beginning." And I was like, "Oh my God, the beginning of the Daleks. That's the most exciting thing in the world." You imagine we just had 6 days notice on a really exciting, epoch-changing story that was coming up. So, so Terry Nation, definitely. And that was a man who, you look back at his life, who worked very hard at getting his name recognized and getting a wage that recognized his name as well. So I like him. He was very rare businessman writer who ran his own life like a business, and he made an awful lot of money out of it. He copyrighted his own stories. He copyrighted the Daleks and made himself rich, and good for him. That's what copyright is for. That's what should happen with a great idea. So very much admiring of that. I wish I'd met him. He died long before I came along on this. And it's like, I'd love to have said hello to him.
Obviously, you both knew that the show is huge in your home country, but did you realize it was going to be so big in the US with your face on billboards?
No. It's so surprising to me anytime I see an American fan of Doctor Who. I had no idea it had the reach that it does, and it's only going to get bigger now that Disney Plus is on board. Thank you very much, Disney Plus. But yeah, I've been shocked by that, certainly.
Yeah, me too.
I'm already sold, so thank you very much. Thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you, darling. I appreciate it, you. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much for your time, and congratulations. I'm so excited to see the rest of the series.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.